Greetings, everyone, from the forest. Just on a beautiful afternoon stroll. Oh, there's a lot going on in the world, as you well know. There always is. It just depends on the focus, right? Everything comes down to perspective. Speaking of perspectives, it's a full moon today. And the moon, of course, represents emotions and the cycles of nature, including birth and death. You could also call it creation and destruction. So, full moon in Aries, that means we have the it's not a planet, but the heavenly body of emotion in the sign of Libra. Sorry, Aries. Libra is its opposite. And that is the sign of the I am. And we have the North Node in Aries, which is our path to destiny, and our South Node in Libra. And so these are the big lessons that are happening right now between the I and the we. The I and the we. And ego is a really important part of our development, our sense of self. Although it gets a bad rap, for me, it's really the difference between the unhealthy, self-focused I and its lack of awareness of its embeddedness in the larger container of we. And of course, Libra in the South Node right now has its own toxic version of we, codependence, habits of people pleasing, sacrificing the self under the guise of trying to create harmony or maintain an illusion of harmony, even if there isn't any. But the thing with that is, as I'm learning more than ever now, and perhaps you may be too, is just because there's silence doesn't mean that there's peace. And so we are being asked to discover how to create peace, not only for others, but for ourselves. And how can we have and both, not one or the other, which we've been taught in this dualistic world. And of course, you may have heard, speaking of Aries, it's also the god of war. So the idea that the Department of War is sending in the National, or attempting to send in the National Guard into Portland to deal with a very small, tiny group of people that have the will and the courage to protest what's happening in the ice building. The ice building is currently having its permit questioned in regards to the land use of that building. So this all seems like some really bad movie script, really bad distraction from what's really going on, from the harm that's being done. And the government shutdown. And they say, estimates, 75% of people are going to lose their health care. 75% of Americans, because the price increase will go so high, people won't be able to afford it. And it's so ironic, right? When you consider that we're spending billions of dollars giving it to Argentina. $20 billion. I've lost count. How many billions of dollars? 290 billion to Israel. And I haven't fact checked it, but if you have or you'd like to, I'd love to hear it in the comments that both countries, Argentina and Israel, do have the luxury of free national health care. And so all of these dichotomies, all of these contradictions, all of these events of people trying to learn how an eye, with all of its foibles, political identifications, ideologies, can live with others without trying to dominate or make them wrong. And that is the shadow of Aries, which we're coming out of, hopefully, or learning to evolve out of. So, this age of power over through dominance, through suppression, through silencing, is coming up for review. And it's hard to look at all the damage, all the human trauma that's created. Here we go, we're going up another hill. A slow climb. All the damage that it's created in the human psyche. And there's still part of this planet that believes that it's separate from the damage it does. And this whole paradigm of separation is no longer possible because of the global world market that has slowly evolved, largely due to the internet, which of course is an Aquarius ruled domain, technology, innovation, that sort of thing. The airwaves, that information is, I don't know if you can see all the spider webs, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big, beautiful, shining, glimmering webs for this fall day. Oh, there's more over here. They're everywhere. Oh my gosh. I feel like I just entered the forest of spiders. It's so beautiful today. It's warm. It's very warm still, although there's a little coolness. This definitely falls in the air. Anyhow, I've been trying to really come out in nature and get fresh air, connect with the trees and all the woodland creatures, and really exercise my lungs. Whew. Where I've come from, mostly because I don't know if you guys know, but probably about 3 years ago when I bought my condo, it had mold and it really injured my lungs. And I recently took a position just part-time working in a building, and there was something in the building, an air conditioner, that really began to reactivate my respiratory injury, unfortunately. So I had to depart from that building, which is definitely okay for me right now. I don't think that was just one of the issues. But anyhow, back to the astrological climate, as above, so below. That we are part of this constellation of creation, and everything is connected to the central rhythm of creation, even our breath. The inhale is an expansion, the exhale is a contraction. More spider webs. Oh my gosh, let me see if you guys can see this one. It's hard to see against the trees, but he's there, or she. And she knows that I'm here because she can feel the vibration of my voice and my breath. That tremors, the subtle vibrations along her web. This is the web of life that the indigenous people spoke of. And every world tradition has its version, the fabric of life that we are all part of, that we are embedded inside of. We are not separate. So I guess for me personally, we all have our own lessons that we're learning. Mine's around owning my fire, something I never, I mean my authentic fire. I'm not talking about the toxic version of anger that often fuels people through trigger. I'm talking about the fire that purifies with compassion and kindness and love. And that's an imprint I did not inherit. So I'm having to rewire my nervous system for the first time in this life, to learn how to hold my fire, to liberate, to uplift, not to criticize or to blame, but to take ownership and inspire others to do the same. So I guess I'll leave it there. I still have a bit to climb and I'm going to need my breath. I apologize if I was heavily breathing today into the microphone, but that's what you get today. All right. If you get this far, let me know. What are you learning with the full moon in Aries right now? I'd love to hear. All right. Toodles.